Welcome to Managing Your Checking Account. I'm Deanna, and I'll be your host. A checking account is an important financial tool. It's simple to open and use and can save you time and money when you need to cash your paycheck, pay a bill, or monitor your monthly expenses. During this podcast, we'll cover three major areas. First, we'll consider why it pays to have a checking account and how to open one. Next, we'll examine how to make a withdrawal or deposit. And finally, we'll discover how to protect and manage your account. So let's get started. A checking account is a service that's provided by a bank or credit union. These institutions are insured by the FDIC for up to $250,000, so they offer a safe, secure place where you can keep your money until you're ready to use it. A checking account allows you to pay with a check or debit card so you don't have to carry around large amounts of cash. It also makes it easier to track your expenses. There are several types of checking accounts. An individual checking account only has one owner. A joint checking account is shared by two people who can both make deposits and withdrawals on the account. Checking accounts also vary according to the services they provide, the fees they charge, and if they require a minimum monthly balance. So it pays to shop around and compare. Some financial institutions have special accounts for teens, college students, or seniors. These often have limited balance requirements and lower fees. If you plan to routinely make deposits or withdrawals at your bank or credit union, also make sure the one you choose has a branch located close to where you live or work. Once you decide which financial institution and features are best, it's time to open your checking account. Since 9/11, financial institutions are required to verify the identity of anyone who uses their services. For this reason, you'll be expected to provide proof of who you are in order to open the account. You'll be asked your name, address, and social security number, and you'll need to show a government-issued photo ID. You also may be asked to supply info about your employer, income, and where the money came from that you're using to open the account. Before approving an account, the financial institution may even pull your personal credit report or request a report from ChexSystems or Telecheck. ChexSystems provides information to help financial institutions identify applicants who have a history of mismanaging their accounts. Telecheck is a company that collects information on returned and fraudulent checks. You may want to review your credit reports before you open your account. The Federal Credit Reporting Act requires that each of the three major credit reporting companies, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, supply you with a free copy every 12 months. To request one from all three, simply go to www.annualcreditreport.com. You're also entitled to receive one free report from ChexSystems every 12 months. To do so, go to www.consumerdebit.com. Once you review these reports, immediately dispute any incorrect items you find. If you have a negative credit report or ChexSystems report, strive to pay your bills on time and pay off any outstanding debts. These strategies will help you improve your financial standing. When you open your checking account, you'll be given a set of temporary checks and deposit slips. Permanent checks and deposit slips will be mailed to you a few days later. Now, let's talk about how to use a checking account. Today, many financial transactions take place electronically, but paper checks are still the payment method that some employers and other parties, like doting grandparents, use. Before you can deposit or cash a check, you have to endorse it. There are three types of endorsement: blank, restrictive, and special. A blank endorsement is the most common type of endorsement. Using this method, you simply sign your name on the back top of the check where it says "Endorse check here." Be sure to sign your name exactly as it appears on the Pay to Order line on the front of the check. And be aware, as soon as you make a blank endorsement, anyone can cash the check. To guard against this possibility, wait to sign it until you deposit it at your bank or credit union. A restrictive endorsement ensures that your check can only be deposited in an account in your name. It cannot be taken as cash. To make a restrictive endorsement, simply write "for deposit only" on the first line of the endorsed check here box and then sign your name below. A special endorsement allows a third party to cash your check. To do this, sign your name on the top line of the endorsed check here space, then add "pay to order of" and the name of the person who will cash the check directly below. The third party then signs their name and adds their own account number on the last line of the endorsement box. To deposit a check at your bank or credit union, you'll need to fill out a deposit slip. This serves as a receipt for your transaction, and it's easy to do. Simply write the information that's required on the form. Fill in the date of the deposit. If you're depositing cash, enter the total amount you're depositing. If you're depositing checks, list each one separately on its own line. If you have lots of checks to deposit and there's not enough room on the front of the slip, use the extra lines on the back. Finally, write in the amount of cash you want back from the deposit in the appropriate space and total up your transaction. For payments that you receive on a regular basis, you may decide to use direct deposit. Under this method, money is electronically transferred directly into your account. Paychecks from employers and government benefit checks, such as for Social Security or unemployment insurance, are often deposited this way. There are several advantages to using direct deposit. It's convenient and often gives you access to your money sooner. It also alleviates worry over lost or stolen checks. You can withdraw money from your account in many ways. For example, you can use a debit or check card. This card looks a lot like a credit card and is convenient and easy to use. To withdraw money from your checking account, you insert the card in an ATM and type in your personal identification number or PIN. ATMs are available almost everywhere, but if you use one outside your financial institution's network, you'll probably be charged a fee. Debit or check cards can also be used to make retail purchases. During these transactions, you'll either be expected to type in your PIN or sign a receipt the same way you would if you were using a credit card. In either case, the money will be drawn directly and immediately from your checking account. Some retailers also allow you to get cash back. There's generally no charge for this service. Before you use your debit card to withdraw cash or make a purchase, be sure you have enough money in your checking account to cover the transaction. Otherwise, the bank or credit union may deny your request or charge you a hefty fee. And once you make a withdrawal or purchase, don't forget to record the transaction in your checkbook. You can also withdraw money from your account using a check. There are three major types of checks: personal, certified, and cashier's. Let's take a look at each. Personal checks are the most common type of check. When you first open your account and order your checks, you'll be asked to provide the information that you want printed on them. Normally, it makes sense to list your full name and address, but don't include your Social Security number or driver's license number. Having this information on the check makes it easy for thieves to steal your identity. Personal checks may not be accepted in situations where payment has to be assured, such as when you place a large deposit on a car with a private owner you don't know. At times like this, a certified or cashier's check may be required instead. A certified check is guaranteed by your financial institution, and there's usually a fee for this service. Here's how it works. Your credit union or bank verifies that you have enough money in your account to cover the check and then holds this amount for payment. When payment is ultimately made, the word certified is stamped on the check. If for any reason there are insufficient funds in your account to cover the check, both you and your financial institution may be held liable for failure to pay. A cashier's check also includes added protection for the company or person you're paying. You have to purchase this type of check directly from your financial institution. You provide the institution with cash or have the amount of the check deducted from your account along with a service fee. The institution then writes the check using its own funds. Filling out a check doesn't take long. Here's how to do it. Always use a pen and write legibly. Record the current date in the right-hand corner of the check. Don't post-date it in hopes that the amount will be deducted from your account at a later date. A check can be cashed just as soon as it changes hands, no matter how it's dated. Also, record the name of the person or company you're paying on the pay to order line on the front of the check, and use numbers to write the payment amount after the $ on the same line. Keep the figures you record close to the $ so that other numbers can't be added by someone else. On the next line down, write out the payment amount in words using dollars and fractions of dollars. For example, on a $25.10 check, write $25.10. Then draw a line to fill in the space between the fraction and the word dollars that's printed at the end of the line. This will prevent anyone from changing the amount you wrote. At the bottom of the check, record what the check is for on the memo line. For example, if you're paying for food, you might write groceries. Also, sign your name on the signature line and make sure the signature you use matches the name that's printed on the check. If you make a mistake at any point, don't cross out and keep going. Instead, write void on the front of the check and tear off the signature line before you shred it. Then make another check. Finally, don't forget to record the voided check in your checkbook. Now, let's discuss how to manage your checking account. Good management involves taking steps to monitor and protect it. To expedite this process, keep all of your account materials, such as checks, ATM receipts, deposit slips, and statements in one secure, easy-to-access place. Begin by tracking your expenses. Anytime you make a deposit, write a check, or use your debit card, record this information in your checkbook register. In today's rush-around world, it's easy to forget a transaction. But forgetting can lead to trouble, especially if it causes you to overdraft your account. Unless you pay extra for overdraft insurance, this may cost you an additional $20 to $50 in fees. Also, regularly review your checking account statement online or when it arrives by mail each month. The checking account statement provides a summary of your account transactions for a given period. It also lists the checks that were cashed, the deposits and withdrawals that were made, and any credits or maintenance charges. You'll need a copy of your monthly statement in order to balance your checkbook register. This is an important task because it verifies if your checkbook matches your financial institution's records. Differences between the two may be due to bank errors or even simple slip-ups in your math. Either way, it's important to catch and correct these mistakes before they lead to bounced checks and expensive overdraft fees. If you balance your checkbook on a regular basis, it normally takes about 10 to 30 minutes to complete. The more often you do it, the less time it takes and the better chance you have to eliminate difficulties. Here's how. First, reconcile your checks. Sort through your canceled checks or review the list of cash checks that appear in numerical order on your statement. In your checkbook register, mark off each one of these. Also, take a moment to make sure the amounts you recorded in the checkbook are the same as those listed for the cash checks. Finally, determine if there are checks listed in your registry that haven't cleared the bank yet. Next, reconcile your ATM withdrawals and debit card purchases. If the bank shows transactions that aren't listed in your check register, write them down now. Also, reconcile your deposits. Make sure each deposit shown on your statement is also listed in your check register. This especially includes any made by direct deposit because it's easy to forget to record these. Check off the deposits just as you did the cash checks and make sure the bank statement includes all those you recorded in your checkbook. Once you've reviewed all your records, make a list of any outstanding checks, debit purchases, or ATM withdrawals that have not cleared the bank yet. Total them up with a calculator and subtract this total from the ending balance on your monthly statement. Then make a list of any outstanding deposits and accrued interest and add this amount to the ending balance as well. The figure you're left with should equal the balance you show on your checkbook register. If it doesn't, double check your math. Look for reversed or incorrect numbers or places where you may have subtracted instead of added or added instead of subtracted. Also, contact your financial institution concerning any transactions that don't show up or seem to be inaccurately recorded on your statement. Last but not least, let's examine how to protect your checking account. Currently, there are no federal laws to limit your losses if someone steals your checks or forges your signature, but state laws do offer some protection. To find out what laws apply in your state, contact the Attorney General's office. Financial institutions usually hold some responsibility for forged checks. However, you share that responsibility and need to be aware of your account activity. Notify the bank or credit union immediately anytime you think a check has been lost or stolen, mail containing checks has been lost or stolen, or transactions appear on your checking account statement that you didn't authorize. Restrict access to your checks and banking records. Don't leave them lying around at home. Believe it or not, a large amount of identity theft is carried out by people we already know, such as friends, relatives, neighbors, and live-in employees. Also, limit what you carry when you go out. Only bring the checks, debit cards, and ID that you need, and never leave them in your car where they could be easily stolen. And take measures to safeguard your mail. Checks and statements can be stolen from your mailbox if it doesn't lock, so never leave a bill payment with a check there for posting. Take it to a secure U.S. Postal Service box or office instead. Avoid giving out your account number, bank routing information, or debit or credit card number to anyone you don't know and trust. This goes for when people call on the phone and when you make online transactions as well. Only provide your account information if you know the company you're dealing with and you have initiated the contact. And shield your checks and debit cards whenever you shop or make a withdrawal. Identity thieves are everywhere, even at your local ATM. Take the time to create hard-to-guess passwords for your online checking account. Avoid using info like your social security number, birth date, mother's maiden name, or a common word from the dictionary. Combine letters, numbers, and special characters to create a strong password instead. Finally, when it comes time to dispose of old checking account records, do so with care. Cross-cut or confetti shred items like canceled checks and bank statements before placing them in the garbage. Destroy any storage media like CDs, DVDs, or thumb drives that contain financial records. And keep your garbage cans in a protected area that's hard to access. These precautions will help you avoid dumpster diving identity thieves who hope to steal and use your checking account information. The more you think and plan, the better protected your checking account will be. Good luck and happy checking.